Hi, my name is Yilda Zilkin, and I'm the author of Blue Mountain. I'm doing another entry today, and today's entry is chronicling things that are still going on. Now, last night at approximately 3 or 4 in the morning, I got woken up. It's part of that Intel chip. And what ended up happening was they frazzled till about 5 in the morning. And what I think they're trying to do is make me get up at the same time some girl overseas is up because they're doing data management. Now, I'm not too sure about stuff like that, but the bottom line is they're trying to do a particular style of fraud. And the guy in the vicinity is telling me, or in my head with that Intel chip is telling me, Hanna, you are now talk in the area of buy. So I'm looking at him and saying, listen, and you have to understand how arrogant Hanna has become. She's famously known for classy. But we saw combat and she's horribly injured. The last thing she wants to occur is to be woken up at that particular hour. So I said, if you like to double dip into the chocolate chute, why are you telling me your business? Or is it bye bye? Well, he said, indirectly, we framed you and you are now in a zone that is meant for you to die. This is what he's telling me at 4 in the damn morning. So Prophet Hanna told him, I said, I'm actually not in the zone of buy. You are in our airspace, the zone of Hanaan. You are in Hanaan. You want that dumbification project and you've killed off a lot of the planet, and this zone is my zone. Why are you in my zone? It's because they don't know what they're doing and they're making a disaster of it. And what's scary about C3's history is you think you're speaking to someone Indian, but it could be someone Chinese. Or you think you're speaking to someone Chinese, and it could be a prisoner or a U.S. commander or someone KGB or Mossad. They're using voice distortion in people's heads. So it's one of those things that are ghost wars. I said, I'm in Hannan. I'm quite comfortable. For the last 4 or 5 years, I'm out of the loop. I'm too injured. So then, you know, I friggin' cussed him right off because that is what prophets do when they lose patience after crucifixion. So the day before, I was kind of watching the show, and in the show, Working Moms, they put an Indian girl next to a rich family. And why they're doing that is so that the Indian girl can actually annoy the family. So in the future, when they take Prophet Hannah's work and rebuild it, people are going to beg the Indian community for forgiveness. They want to be feeling that glorification of that cow on the podium. Now, you just have to know certain things that have gone on and how benefit some communities are, and this is one of them. But they don't have to do that because everybody already loves the Indian community. It's not a thing, but they got so isolated between China, the Turks, and Russia. They're doing stuff like this because they just are building the benefit that Hanna, Prophet Hanna, which is a Sky Turk, actually built. So between China doing that to them, or, again, I'm out of the loop, it's just continuous benefit, continuous benefit. But some cultures are very, very trusting. The Turks are one of them. And what ended up happening, part of C3, I think a lot of medical doctors got injured. We don't want to live like this. And the reason these things are happening is because pressure, immense pressure. I mean, everybody's click, 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 click e-commerce sites, and it takes like 8 weeks to produce 4 little chilies. So there's an enormous amount of pressure. They accidentally whacked off half of Africa, or God knows, a large section, because of that competition with the chip. So, hey, where's the black people to go into the jungle and take out our food? They need slaves. Um, the disaster they made with the Prophet Hanna story, I mean, think about it. They glorified a thief, but that's their culture. Not everybody wants a thief. You know, they glorified her. You have to see her like she's in diamonds head to toe, even her shoes, not wearing makeup, and they're glorifying a stink-ass thief as they utilize Prophet Hannah's work on her. And people are like clapping. Then there was the medical disaster. I'm not talking about that. That's something internal, private. We don't want to be dependent on one type of intelligence that believes in the caste system. But I don't want it to be an Indian thing, because it might not be an Indian thing. It may be a Chinese thing, making India do dirty stuff with that particular chip. So you see how ugly this hidden conflict really is. Well, Prophet Hannah should have been fully killed, because so long as she landed, she's evil as hell right now. You can only understand. You know, I come from a Muslim background. My ass is on the big screen on the Danforth. You know, I know my name means star, but not porno star. Very, very shameful. But something went wrong. The whole Danforth got eliminated. So something was after the Greeks. Maybe they utilized it as an excuse to attack the Greeks. But we don't want to live like this. We don't want to live like this. So as they build these new Jews and the cow on top of the podium and their own culture globally as one, you know, they eradicated competition. Is that a good thing? That's horrific. Then Europe wanted to die as they tormented Europe. We don't want to live like this. And this gets better. At night, when I do my dark therapy, is when I get all my good ideas. I just sit there for hours meditating. You have to understand, I've been alone for how many years? It's a celibate holiness. Something CIA, when you say celibate, doesn't want to hear, but it's based off a true story. And in the morning, a recording gives me my own ideas. It's almost like something out in their servers somewhere is rehashing my own work as if it's the girl's work. Why the fuck you giving me ideas then? But it's the cow on the podium thing. It's the gypsies building the media thing. To date, we are now, how many years later, all Hanna was trying to do at the very beginning was get permission to do the Real Evolve exhibit. You have to understand, she's the foundation of civil rights and ethics. You know, that Abraham Lincoln's emancipation. She is the hardcore of human. And these guys, all they think about is J-Lo's ass in a mansion so that the goddess can be this beautiful woman, supreme health with no makeup, on a podium, no different than a cow. What Moses saw as an elder in a completely different story based off theology. But we don't want to live like that. Women are very, very important. And then, inside C3, you know, with the James Bonds now, some of, you know, and the wolves, the other wolves, Hannah's mouth went off. That's to the men. But it's not their fault either. It's not their fault either. Because over history, they made all the doctors gay. As these doctors became gay, we became dependent on them. And that's okay. I don't care if it's an Indian, if it's a gay, if it's a Chinese. I don't care as long as you take care of me. But they're gay because it's a military sting operation. They don't want women. Over the years, they killed off women doctors. And if you do look at a woman doctor, it's not a woman, it's a specialized woman medical. Now, you see how I'm releasing all this information because I'm getting to a point because I want all these players out of it and I want to exhibit. It's not to shame them. We can't change one particular army. It's a global presentation of exhibits, but I'm so wounded and it doesn't help that I have a voice that sounds Indian telling me you're in a goodbye zone. You want to choke the fuck out of this person at 4 in the damn morning. And this is where Hanna comes out in full force. So back to the doctors now. Over the years, all the doctors are gay men. Now, I'm completely okay with that. But I'm not okay with what's really going on. The ideology of Jews. Well, we're going to sell you drugs because they have a management problem now. It's not a Jew thing. They just have a management problem. So we're gonna, every time you rape another boy, we give them drugs. So over the years, all these men don't really necessarily want to sleep with other men. They have a drug issue, and it goes back to the money being funneled back to Jews to provide for slaves and cheap labor. And over the years, it has been this like vicious circle of violence for the men. So the men are talking to me, Hanna, you know we will fuck you up. You know what we like. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But I don't want to interfere with that either in that gladiator style battle. I'm simply trying to present because this person, the real chosen, which is a blonde, that they injured so horrifically bad, wants to simply present. Can I not present? We are now day 4,775 now of one particular woman's luck and story in a hidden cluster. And to date, they have taken my revenue and built stronger gay military personnel who are doctors. Then they eliminated some or all and made those doctors now one particular race, so we're dependent. We don't want to live like this. And then that chip, they grew it. And then Jews said, okay, we're going to die and just pass the baton. We don't want Jews to die. If you have a management issue and a prophet has landed, well, you're a woman and you support non-gays. No, I'm okay with what you do. I just want to present. It is now how many years later? And they, $40 billion worth of legal documents went to all the young little kids up and coming. Hannah's looking at them. Why are you giving my documents to little rodents? They can be investors. They can take that work and become the branches or the suckers of life. I just want to present. But I couldn't believe it. 4 in the morning, homeboy's at my bed, rattling like a little pest. And this is why skies only support women in warfare, in the most extreme hidden warfare in the history of humanity. BalboaPress.com under Yildiz Ilkin, entry year 2014.